thank you for these awards for to UX in Montreal. Two questions for you. First, as you're a member of the UXPA team this year, we've been through loads of changes in the UX world lately. What are these main changes that you've seen in the last 2 years?
Well, a lot of the changes that I've been seeing, especially here at UXPA, there's a lot more integration with research and design. That used to be, we used to have separate groups, right? You have your researchers, you have the designers, and there's a lot more integration now. That's definitely a big change. As far as topics, women in UX is a really hot topic right now. Struggles that women go through in the UX community and how to overcome those struggles. I'm trying to think what else is new in the UX field. I mean, definitely the whole transition from usability to user experience, that's been a shift as well. So not just thinking about and evaluating accuracy and efficiency and satisfaction, these more typical metrics of usability, but thinking about the more holistic user experience. How do people feel about this entire experience? And what is the experience from start to finish? Companies like Uber and Lyft, I don't know if you guys have these, but it's like, it's not just about using the app, but then it's also about when you get to your destination and getting out of the car and not having to exchange money.
Absolutely. What's the next big thing in the UX world, or what turns you on in the UX world these days?
The UX world, what turns me on? Well, some of the topics that I'm really interested in addition to women in UX, because I think this is really important. Women in the workplace, right? But certainly for us in the UX field, what are some of the struggles that women have, and how do we overcome those struggles? How do we get more women engaged at a younger age? I think especially in the US, this is something we see. I know in other cultures, women in engineering is fine. I have a friend from Indonesia, and she said it wasn't a big deal growing up that I wanted to be an engineer. But in the US, that's odd if your daughter wants to be an engineer. So continuing to get women at a younger age involved in this field, and knowing what it is and what it's about, and understanding different things you can do to get into the field at a much younger age. Education as a whole I'm very interested in. So people who want to get into the field, how do we get them prepared? Oftentimes people want to transition into the field. They haven't had formal training, university education, and they haven't had the experience. So nobody will hire them because they haven't had the experience, but they can't get the experience unless they get hired somewhere. So it's like this never-ending circle. So figuring out better ways that we can educate people and give them the tools and the training that they need to actually get into the field, that's really important to me. And then globalization, or I shouldn't say globalization, but international UX. Doing more cross-culturally, and whether or not you're doing things cross-culturally for your organization, understanding how it's done and what the differences are, and understanding the different methods we use and how that changes when we're doing international work, working with different cultures.
Any advices for the newcomers in the field?
Any advice for newcomers in the field? Well, networking is so huge, and nowadays with social media it's easier to network, but it doesn't take the place of face-to-face networking. So coming to events like the UXPA conference, the local chapters, all the events that you have at the local chapter level, other meetups, there's so many UX meetups now, that are not UXPA related even. Going to those and really getting to meet people and putting yourself out there. Even if you're not very social, you go out there and you fake it. You put out your hand and you introduce yourself, or volunteer. Because, for me, believe it or not, I am sometimes shy.
And really?
Believe it or not. And, for me, like volunteer, I started with the DC chapter, and I volunteered, and it was really helpful to meet people because I had a role. People arrived, and I said hello and welcome, and here's your drink ticket. Here's the name tag. Exactly. And then, or introducing speakers. It's like you're very nervous, you're very scared. You get up there and you introduce the speaker. Then before you know it,
stage fright.
I am. Aren't we all? Yes. You just have to channel that energy. But it's really helpful because then you start to meet people. You start to see the same people over and over, and before you know it, you're not nervous anymore because you know so many people. And then, you want to get a job or you want to change careers, and you know so many people now that you can get your foot in the door, because you have those connections. So the power of networking, I can't stress it enough. And it's not just, on LinkedIn, being a connection. That's not enough. You have to do more. You have to engage and really talk to people.
Jen, thank
Yeah.
you very much.
You're welcome.
And thank you for a wonderful conference.
Thank you.